Hello everyone. This is part 7 on ordinary differential equation, and today I am going to explain what do you mean by Wronskian of two solutions y1 and y2, and what is the relation between independent, dependent and Wronskian. Now just see, you are given any second order differential equation which is of the form y double prime plus pxy prime plus qxy is equal to 0, where y prime and y double prime denotes the derivative first and second of y with respect to x, right? And px and qx, they are the functions of x alone. So this is second order linear differential equation. Since right hand side is 0, so this is homogeneous second order linear differential equation. Now what do you mean by the Wronskian of y1 and y2, where y1 and y2, these are the solutions of this equation 1. So Wronskian of two solutions, or you can say two functions, it will be the determinant y1, y2, y1 dash, y2 dash, right? You find out this determinant, right? Means this one. So this denotes the Wronskian of y1, y2 at a particular point x naught, right? So this is the value of the Wronskian y1, y2 dash minus y2, y1 dash, right? So now based on this we have this theorem with this lemma. This lemma says that if y1 and y2, they are any two solutions of equation 1 on the closed interval AB, then their Wronskian is either identically 0 or never 0 on the closed interval AB. Now just see what is given to us, given that y1 and y2, they are the solutions of equation 1. So if they are the solution of equation 1, clearly they should satisfy equation 1. So that means y1 double prime plus px y1 prime plus qx y1 should be 0. y2 double prime plus px y2 prime plus qx y2 will be 0. So this is our observation, that y1 and y2 both satisfying the equation 1, so means this thing hold. Moreover, what is the Wronskian of y1 and y2? The Wronskian of y1 and y2 is y1 y2 dash minus y2 y1 dash. We can find out the derivative of this with respect to x. So the Wronskian prime means dw by dx. It will be what? y1 as it is into the derivative of y2. So it will become y2 double prime minus plus y2 prime as it is and the derivative of y1. Similarly, take the derivative of this. It will be minus y2 y1 double prime minus y2 prime y1 prime. So you see, these two terms will be cancelled out and you left with the first and this third term. So it will be y1 y2 double prime minus y2 y1 double prime, right? Now this is our Wronskian's derivative with respect to x, and these are two equations. Okay, we multiply this equation with y2 and this equation with y1. Okay, so multiply equation this by y2 and this by y1. So what will happen? You will see the last term qx term, it will be cancelled out. You left with this term, right? So now just see, what is this? This is nothing but the derivative of Wronskian with respect to x, and this inside term is nothing but the Wronskian term y1 y2 prime minus y2 y1 prime, right? So you will have a linear equation, first order linear equation in terms of w and x. We know that how to solve this equation. This is our linear first order differential equation, so we can find out its solution. We know that the integrating factor will be e to the power integral of p dx, right? Or you can solve this equation by variable separable method. You can take minus pw to be this side, and then you can combine dw with w, and p is a function of x alone, so you can combine with dx. Now you're integrating both sides. After solving, you will have this as a solution. So after solving this first order differential equation, we will get this solution. right, by using the variable separable method. So w is nothing but some constant times e to the power minus integral of px dx. Now just see, since we know that exponential function is never zero, right, so our w is either never zero or it will be zero only when this constant c is zero, right. So in that case it doesn't depend on this value, so it will be 0 for all x if your c is 0. So if c is 0, w is identically 0, right. And if c is non-zero, this is also non-zero number, then w will never 0. So this completes the proof that if y1 and y2 they are the solution of second order homogeneous linear differential equation, then Wronskian of these two solutions is either identically 0 or never 0 on the closed interval AB. Next is the lemma 2. This lemma says that if y1 and y2 they are two solutions of equation 1 on the closed interval AB, equation 1 is y double prime plus pxy prime plus qxy is equal to 0, then y1 and y2 they are linearly dependent on the interval if and only if their Wronskian is identically 0, right. So now what this theorem says that whenever y1 y2 they are linearly dependent, the Wronskian is identically 0, or when the Wronskian is identically 0, y1 and y2 they are linearly dependent. So we have to prove this both ways. Now assume the first part, that y1 and y2 they are linearly dependent. Now if one of them is 0, then clearly Wronskian will be 0. Now why? Let's suppose your y1 is 0. If you put here the value of y1, then y1 is 0, y1 dash is 0, so this implies that this is 0. So if one of them is 0, your Wronskian is clearly 0, so this thing hold. So we assume that neither of them is 0, right. Now what is given to us, that these two solutions are linearly dependent, so it means one can be written as some constant multiple of other, okay. So we have this relation, let's suppose y2 is c times y1 where c is any constant. Now we can find out the derivative of this. So y2 prime will be c times y1 prime. Now you can substitute the value of y2 and y2 prime in Wronskian. What will happen? It will become y1 c y1 dash minus c y1 y1 dash. Now just see, these two terms will be cancelled out and you will get that Wronskian is 0. So whenever y1 y2 they are linearly dependent, the Wronskian is always 0 for all x on the interval AB. Now the next is the converse part. Let's suppose that Wronskian is identically 0 and we need to prove that y1 and y2 they are linearly dependent. Okay, again we assume that none of them is 0, because if one of them is identically 0, then clearly they are linearly dependent. Now why? Because we know that in, let's suppose y1 is identically 0, so 0 can be written as some constant times y2. Here this constant is 0, right. So they are depending on each other. So this implies that y1 is, whenever one of them is identically 0, both are linearly dependent, right. So we assume that y1 does not vanish identically on the closed interval AB. It means that y1 is not equal to 0 for all x belonging to the closed interval AB. So it is not 0 on the interval AB, so we can divide it by y1 square. Now just see what is given to us, given that Wronskian is identically 0. Now what is the Wronskian of y1 comma y2? It will be y1 y2 dash minus y2 y1 dash, and it is given that it is 0. But we can divide it both side by y1 square since y1 is non-zero number. Now what is this? This is nothing but the derivative of y2 upon y1. So this is complete differential of y2 upon y1. How? What is the derivative of y2 upon y1? y2 as it is into the derivative of 1 over y1, it will be minus 1 upon y1 square into y1 dash plus 1 upon y1 as it is into the derivative of y2, which is y2 dash. So when you simplify this, you will have this is this thing, right? So this is complete differential of this. So we can solve this by taking the integration both side. So when you integrate both side, you will have this is equal to the constant. So what we have y2 upon y1 is a constant. It means y2 is some constant multiple of the other one on subinterval, and which implies on the complete interval AB. So this implies that y2 and y1 both are depending on each other whenever Wronskian is identically 0. So other ways we can say this thing, that whenever Wronskian is not 0, in that case y1 and y2 they are linearly independent, right? So if Wronskian is not equal to 0 on the complete interval AB, then y1 and y2 they are linearly independent. For example, show that y is equal to some constant time sin x plus some constant time cos x is a general solution of this differential equation, and find out the particular solution at the point 0, right? Under the condition that y at 0 is 2 and y dash at 0 is 3. So now just see, we can easily verify that sin x and cosine x they are the solutions of this equation. Why? Because we can substitute over here. What will be the derivative, second derivative of sin x? It will be minus sin x. What is the derivative? What is the value of y? It is sin x. So minus sin x plus sin x will be cancelled out. So sin x satisfies this equation. Similarly, cos x, its derivative is minus cos x, second derivative, plus cos x, it is also 0. So this also satisfying this equation. So these both are the solutions of this equation, because these two satisfy this equation. So therefore they are the solution, right? Now check whether Wronskian is independent or dependent. So when you find out the Wronskian of y1 and y2, it will be y1, y2, y1 dash, y2 dash, right? So this is sin x, cos x minus sin x. When you simplify this, you will have this is minus 1. Since it is non-zero, so clearly y1 and y2 they should be independent, right? Further, we can also check y1 cannot be written as y1 cannot be written as some constant times y2, right? If you divide y1 by the y2, you will have tan x, which is not a constant number, right? So therefore they are not dependent, they are linearly independent. Okay, they satisfy this equation. So general solution will be c1 y1 plus c2 y2. So thus whenever y1 and y2 they are linearly independent, means their Wronskian is not 0 on the interval AB, then c1 y1 plus c2 y2 is the general solution of the given equation. Further in this question, we need to find out the particular solution for which this thing hold. So we are given this condition that y at 0 is 2 and y dash at 0 is 3. So when you substitute y at 0, so it will be c1 sin at 0 plus c2 cos at 0. So sin 0 is 0. So you left with c2 into 1 equals to 0, equal to 2. Right? Similarly, when you take its derivative y dash, it will be what? It is c1 cos x minus c2 sin x. Now you find out the value of this equation at 0. So when you put x to be 0, so what will you have? You will have c1 cos 0 minus c2 sin 0, and this value is equal to 3. This is given to us, right? So since sin 0 is 0, so from the first equation you will have c2 is 2, and from the second equation you will have c1 is equal to 3. So you substitute the value of c1 and c2 over here, you will get the particular solution of the given equation under this condition.